Chapter 2, Aptitude or Achievement. Summary. In Chapter 2, Lanny Guinier provides a history of the SAT and tries to show how it fails to fulfill its purpose of measuring first-year college grades. Guinier traces back on how the big three colleges, Harvard, Yale, and Princeton, generally admits their students. She talks about Groton, a private boarding school who aims to cultivate character, manliness, and athleticism among its students, receive favor from the big three colleges by admitting their students as long as the student possesses a manly Christian character. However, admission in Harvard changed when Charles William Eliot became its president. Eliot's annoyance with the stupid sons of the rich caused the change of entrance exams from the archaic Greek exams to exams created by the College Entrance Examination Board, which allowed more students to test regardless of their means. This change resulted in the increase of Catholic and Jewish applicants, but when Eliot was succeeded by Abbot Lawrence Lowell, he reversed what Eliot did to preserve the white Anglo-Saxon Protestant (WASP) Jewish identity of Harvard and to minimize the population of Jews, which were outperforming non-Jewish students academically. Lowell's method of requiring interviews, photos, and letter of recommendations primarily to limit Jewish enrollment brought an inception of a well-rounded applicant. Guinier provided this history to provide context on how the SAT will become a testocracy disguised as a meritocracy. She also stated that with the birth of entrance exams and intelligence testing alongside each other, the SAT will be the solution of the elite who rules to continue their reign. When James Bryant Conant, president of Harvard, needed a receipt for a NEET blind scholarship, he assigned 2 assistant freshman deans to look for a solution. The assistant deans found SAT as it became more popular and recommended it to Conant. Conant accepted their suggestions and required students to take SAT to be considered for a scholarship. Guinier states that the rise of SAT and testocracy, the role of the privileged, became justified because they possessed an unassailable merit. She added that when Harvard used the SAT, it subsequently set a new gold standard in the world of education, in which the SAT served as a primary filter to narrow deserving students to be admitted. Since the SAT only benefited the privileged, she questions the correlation of SAT scores and first-year college grades, which is the promise of the SAT. She then provides an evidence to show that 85% of the time, the SAT fails to do its job. Guinier now asks, why does the use of SAT prevail? And more importantly, if it fails to measure first-year college grades, then what does it measure? She found a report by William Hiss and Valerie Franks that studied the performance of 80,000 students. In the report, they found out that those who excelled in college were the ones who did well in high school, even though they had weak SAT scores. But to strengthen that data, they also found out that those who did not do well in college were the ones who performed poorly in high school, even though they got strong SAT scores. With the report affirming Guinier's claim of the SAT not measuring first-year college grades, she claims that SAT is more reliable as a wealth test. She then provides a 2013 statistical report of college boards that shows a correlation of SAT scores with the income of the family of the test taker. The report showed that as the household income increases of the test taker, so does the SAT score of the test taker. And to add to that, Guinier also showed another report that views SAT through the lenses of race and class. And the report showed that white ethnic race having a higher average SAT score above minorities except that of Asians and Pacific Islanders. To show another angle on why other ethnicities underperformed on the SAT, Guinier introduces a phenomenon called stereotype threat, which was coined by Claudia Steele. The phenomenon describes the worries and fears a person might have when he or she has a chance to live up to a negative stereotype about his or her social group. To provide an example of stereotype threat, she tells a story about Enrique, a Latino she was able to work with who has a photographic memory. Despite his gift, she tells that Enrique could not do well on the LSAC, even though he has practiced a lot of times because he was too tense. And to support the argument of standardized tests not being able to measure the merit of an individual, she tells that Enrique was subsequently selected to be a Rhodes Scholar. Guinier reminds the question, how do we move past that moment of admission, which may only confirm one's present status, to granting an opportunity for a diverse and worthy group of individuals to learn how to work together collectively and creatively to help solve the deep challenges confronting our communities, our economy over educational experiences in a democratic society? To be able to answer this question, she suggests to start with how we define success. Whittier says that a study of Harvard alumni defines success by income, community involvement, and professional satisfaction. And the researchers discovered that there are two uncommon criteria related to the three criteria above that is not ordinarily associated with Harvard freshmen: low SAT scores with a blue-collar background. When admission officers are asked what might make someone successful, they answer initiative or hunger as a key trait for success. Whittier provides these definition of success to show how those who actually make a difference in the community when provided with an opportunity are the ones who are high achieving and ambitious students that come from a humble background. She supports this by using the study of Bach Bowen that shows African American students became leaders faster compared to their privileged white counterparts who also scores better. Whittier closes the chapter by stating that aptitude tests do not measure skills we value in a citizen. She goes on by saying that all that SAT promises is a small correlation with first-year college grades. All the information that she provided in this chapter is to lead the readers to the conclusion of standardized tests not aligning and helping with the missions of schools to produce citizens that contribute to society.